This YouTube account called Kids Hut has absolutely exploded on YouTube recently. If we look at their social blade, we can see that they have got over 1 billion views, and the channel is generating $20,000 every single month, and they get millions of views every single week. So it's clear that this content is working. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to recreate these videos for yourself so that you can begin and grow a YouTube automation to eventually get monetized and begin earning thousands of dollars from YouTube. We'll cover everything from scripting, animating, yes, we won't just post still images like other YouTubers show, editing and publishing. So when this video is up, you'll have your first video ready to post. Let's be honest, are you just gonna watch another video on YouTube, or is this actually going to be the time where you genuinely try something and actually take action? The choice is yours. To prove I'm not full of BS, here's a video that I made in a few minutes.
Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and thick forests, there lived a curious boy named Sam. He loved spending his days exploring the woods, climbing trees, and listening to the sounds of nature.
Let's get to work. If you want to take this a step further, the Join My School community. Top link in the description. Alright, let's start by looking at the competition. This part is extremely important, as knowing your competitors will strive you to create better content. I've already showed you the account at the start of the video. The second competitor is this one called Vooks. They are pretty big, and they tell stories and animate them, which is what we're going to do in this video, but better. Alright, let's get ourselves some video ideas. In this video's description, I've left you a Google Doc full of everything that we're going to use in this video. Open it up and start by hitting the link to ChatGPT. Once we're on ChatGPT, I'm simply going to ask the AI to give me 10 ideas for a children's story. I'm going to make sure that the story contains humans, as they're easier to animate, and that it has a moral, because parents love playing stories that have a message. As you can see, the AI has left us with some ideas, and I like this one called Sam and the Whispering Wind. So highlight your idea and copy it. We're now going to use a tool that I'm sure you know called vidIQ. This will let us instantly generate a title, description, and tags. Head to the tool using the link in the Google Doc. Once here, you want to head to this Generation tab. On here, I'm firstly going to paste in the story title that I copied, and then I'll add some text stating that this is a kid's story, as you can't really gauge that from just the title. Now hit generate. As you can see, vidIQ has gone ahead and generated some stuff. If you look here, we have an engaging title, and it's also given it a SEO score of 90, meaning we can easily climb the search rankings with this title. If I scroll down, we also have a description that's full of engaging keywords that we can use. Furthermore, we also have tags that we can paste into our video. There are other things such as thumbnails and a hook, but we don't really need them for now. Let's now get our script. This part is really important, so make sure that you pay attention. Head back to ChatGPT and paste your video idea back into the AI. I'm now going to ask the AI to write a story about our idea. If you guys need the full prompts, I'll leave them in the Google Doc for you to use. As you can see, the AI has given us back a script, and I think it looks really good. Alright, this part is super easy, so I'll keep it extremely short. You now want to copy the script and head to ElevenLabs so that we can generate voiceover. Once you're on ElevenLabs, paste in your script into the box. Now just hit this drop down here and try out a few voices that would be calming and appropriate for a children's story. Once you have one, select it, and now generate your speech. You wanted to save it when it's done. Alright, keep watching, as I'll now show you how we're going to create actual animations that are much better than the still images that other YouTubers talk about. Swing back to ChatGPT, and you want to start by asking the AI to generate you 2 Leonardo image prompts per sentence. Remember, the full prompts are in the Google Doc. I'll fast forward this bit, but the AI is basically leaving me 2 image prompts per sentence in our video. Once the prompts are done, we can go ahead and begin generating and then animating our images. Just before we do that, I want to talk about my school community. If you guys are struggling to get views on social media, then this is the place for you. We have a full TikTok guide, as well as a spreadsheet with over 100 niches for you to pick from. Check it out in the description. Alright, let's generate our images. Head to Leonardo using the link in the Google Doc. Once you're here, you want to hit this image creation button to take you to the next page. Once you're on the next page, we want to change a few settings. Listen up, because it's really important you get these right. Firstly, you want to change the generation style to this one called Cinematic Kino, as I think it generates the best results for this sort of content. Now, on the left, head just below and set the aspect ratio to 16:9 by clicking this option here. The last thing you want to do is make sure that you're generating 4 images at a time, as it allows us to have a lot of images to pick from. When your settings look like mine, you want to head back to ChatGPT. Now copy over our first image prompt. Head back to Leonardo, find the text box, and paste it in. Now hit generate. You want to start copying over all your images, and I'm going to fast forward to when we get our first clear image of our character. As you can see, we now have our character here. Now, other YouTubers don't show this, but we're going to do a trick to make sure that we generate the same character each time. Find the character that you like, and you want to hover your mouse over them. You want to find this icon with the 2 arrows and click it. On the next page, many options will come up, but you want to find and select the one that says Character Reference. With that selected, the final thing we need to do is to click the setting here and then set the strength value to low. Now you need to be careful here. As you can see, my next ChatGPT prompt doesn't actually contain our character, so I'm going to click the character reference setting and turn it off. You'll need to turn this option on and off depending on if your character is present in the prompt. Alright, go ahead and generate all your images, and I'll skip to when this process is done. With all our images done, it's now time to animate them. Hover over the image that you want to use and find this Generate Motion Video button. Click it, and on the next page, you want to set the strength to around 2. Finally hit Generate. You now need to repeat this process for all the images that we're going to use. You don't have to do this with every image. Just try and do a minimum of 1 per prompt. I'll now skip to when our images are done. As you can see, the AI has left us with some fully animated images that look insane. Like I was saying, they're not some boring still images that other YouTubers show. You want to go ahead and download all the images that we've gathered. Now stick with me, and I'll now show you how to get some music, edit it all together, create a viral thumbnail, and finally post your first video. The last thing we need to get is some background music for our video. Head to this website called Pixabay, using the link in the Google Doc. Once you're on here, below the search bar, you want to click the option that says Music. Now, a few more tabs have come up, and I'll select Upbeat, as it matches the vibe of the video. Now, as you can see, many different tracks have come up, and you want to download 1 or 2 that sound good for your video. Alright, we now have everything we need. Focus, because it's now time to edit our video. To do this, I'll use CapCut. Once you're on CapCut and have hit New Project, you want to start by importing everything we've just gathered. The first thing we need to do is locate our voiceover and drag it onto the timeline like this. Now, ElevenLabs isn't flawless, so there might be some moments of silence in our voiceover. To handle this, start by zooming into your timeline. To remove these gaps, press B on your keyboard to bring up the splitting tool. Once selected, split the voiceover on both sides of the silent section. After that, hit A, delete the dead air, and drag the remaining voiceover together. Repeat this for the entire voiceover. It's worth doing for a viral video. Now that our voiceover is complete, the next step is to add our images. Drag each image one by one onto the timeline. Make sure they're in order and match what's currently being said in the voiceover. Since Leonardo's animation tool turns your images into 4-second long clips, you won't need to trim them. Just add them one by one, and we'll fast forward to when all the images are in place. Once the images are added, the next thing I'll do is apply a transition. Go to Transitions in the top left. On this page, search for a transition called Black Fade. After you find it, drag it between your first 2 images. Now, adjust its duration to about 0.2 seconds by heading to the top right of CapCut. Finally, click Apply to All to place the transition between every image. Next, we need to add text to our video. Go to the text section in the top left of CapCut and click on Auto Captions. On the next screen, click Generate. Keep in mind that auto captions may be a pro feature. If that's the case, you can use an editor like VN to add them for free. Check the link in the Google Doc. After your captions are generated, select them all and go to the Templates section in the top right. I'll choose this template that reveals the words in a cool way. Now, I'll resize the text, making it slightly smaller and moving it lower on the screen. Next, I'll add effects to make our video more engaging. Go to Effects in the top left of CapCut, and I'll start by searching for Sun. There are plenty of effects to choose from, so select one you like. Once you find it, drag the effect into the timeline. I recommend searching for more things such as fog and fireflies and adding them to your track. I suggest adding effects to a few images throughout the timeline, but not to all of them. Too many effects can be overwhelming. Now let's add an adjustment to the video. Head to Adjustments in the top left and apply a custom adjustment to the whole video. Drag the adjustment slider to cover the entire video. Then, in the top right, increase the saturation slightly to make the colors pop. Next, lower the exposure a bit to give the video a darker tone. Scroll down and find the vignette slider, increasing it to around 20 to darken the corners and add a cinematic look. With our adjustments done, the video is complete. Hit export in the top right corner. Make sure the video is set to 1080p and 60 frames per second when exporting. Here's the finished video, but stick around. I'll also show you how to create a thumbnail and post the video. Here's the finished result.
But of all the sounds in the forest, the rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, and the bubbling of streams, Sam loved the wind most of all. The wind seemed to whisper secrets as it wound its way through the trees, and Sam often imagined that it was trying to tell him something.
All right, so to get the thumbnail, we want to head back to Leonardo. Once we're on our personal feed, we want to look for a still image, not an animated one. That will be the main body of our thumbnail. I'll go with this one, and you want to download your chosen image to your device. Now you want to head over to Canva. Once you're on the site, search for the option to create a YouTube thumbnail and click on it. This will bring you to a blank canvas that's perfectly sized for YouTube. I'll fast forward my creation process, but to give you a quick summary, what I'm doing is making sure the image covers the entire screen so it looks visually appealing. Then I'll add some eye-catching text that briefly describes the video. To make the text stand out more, I'll add a gradient background behind it, creating a nice contrast like this. I've put this together fairly quickly, so feel free to take your time and come up with something even more polished. Once you're happy with how your thumbnail looks, go ahead and download it. Now that we've got the thumbnail sorted, we're on to the last step of this video, uploading your masterpiece to YouTube. First, head to YouTube Studio and begin the upload process by selecting your video file. While your video uploads, take a moment to go back to vidIQ from earlier in the process. Here, you'll want to copy over some important details, like the video's title, description, and tags. vidIQ should provide some great suggestions that will help optimize your video for search and boost its visibility. Make sure to fill in all the metadata carefully, as this can make a big difference in how well your video performs once it's live. Once you've completed those steps, your video is all set and ready to post. You can now hit publish, and your video will go live for the world to see. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you found this helpful and want to continue growing your skills, remember to check out my school community. It's packed with valuable resources to help you excel even further. See you next time.